Hi everyone, my name is Kayla and welcome back to Kay's Hidden Shelf, where we talk about books. As talked about on the channel before, I wanted to move away from monthly reading wrap-ups to a weekly reading wrap-up. So this is the first episode of my weekly reading wrap-ups, and we're going to talk about what I read this past week. With the last week being a bit of recovery from the holidays, I didn't get as much reading in as I would have liked to or I normally do, but we're going to go ahead and start off with the one book that I did manage to finish, and it's a novella, specifically Cinders in the Snow by S.C. Selvin. Now, this is a prequel novella in the Trials of Ilderwood series. This was really interesting, and I want to say that because it is a YA fantasy, but it is quite dark as well and dives into some heavier topics despite the audience it's targeted to. The story here follows two 11-year-olds, Daisia and Tanis, who are lured into the Ilderwood, which is a very dangerous place for a child who has not completed their trials to be. As they try to escape the dangers of these woods, they go on an episodic adventure of not only self-discovery, but learning some really hard lessons in life. Something else I appreciated along that note is how many life lessons and just messages that apply not only to kids but also adults are included in this, and it felt seamless. The world felt rich, the magic was captivating, there was just a lot to enjoy in this, and at the end of the novella there are a few short stories that are included that help expand on the lore. So Cinders in the Snow was an excellent way to dive into the author's writing, but also to see this world and the characters. It feels like it's going to be so expansive in the main series, so I'm really intrigued to see how that series goes as well. Now, I will just say, because these do talk about some deeper, heavier topics with humanity, mental health, and everything along those lines, just be mindful going in. Even though it is YA fantasy, like I said, they dive into some heavier mental health topics, so I think it's important to know that before going in. Something else that's good to know is the author has 100% of the royalties going to donations, specifically to a charity called True Colors United. I've also been reading Shorefall Book 2 in the Founders Trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett. Now, having read Foundryside a few years ago prior to having this channel, obviously my memory is going to be hazy on a few of the details. I will say that I wanted to give this a try without rereading Foundryside just to see if I could fall back into it, and the author helped with that so much. They were able to do a seamless recap with not only the circumstances of book 1, where our characters are at, but also the magic system, which was very helpful because it can be a complicated magic system to follow. Not only that, but this starts with the pedal to the metal and has not let go so far, and I'm about 140 pages in. It doesn't seem like it's going to let up in pacing anytime soon, which is just fantastic. Part of the reason why I love Foundryside as well, and I love coming back to this, is it has a lot of heist. It has a very strong character as the main lead and some great supporting cast. But the magic system, I guess the best way I could describe it is that it's almost like computer programming, but in a fantasy version with magic and a lot more lore and history and everything along that line. So this has definitely been fun to come back to. Next, I started another novella. I'm not very far, but I am loving the vibes of it, and that is a necromancer called Gam Gam by Adam Holcomb. Now, this novella is around 110 pages, and I'm only 20 pages in at the moment, but I am absolutely loving the vibe, the characters, and everything that this has to offer so far. The story here follows a grandmotherly necromancer called Gam Gam who has a skeleton cat as a pet, and she crosses paths with a young girl named Mina who has a mysterious power. Now, Mina is being hunted, and Gam Gam will do what she can to protect this young girl. In terms of genre, it's a mix of fantasy, horror, and cozy mystery. All of those things sound fantastic, especially from what I've seen in the intro so far, so I'm really looking forward to continuing this novella, and it looks like it's book 1 in a coming series, so that's also exciting as well. And that is everything I read in the first week of January. Like I said, it was a hectic week. There was a lot going on, so I'm hoping this coming week I'll be able to get a bit more reading in, but I am looking forward to hearing what you kicked off your new year with. What book did you decide to pick up? How did it go for you? Leave your comments down below. I always love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves.